introduction about what live coding always forget the term. And so this is how she approaches the web page. Like, it's a body that can move, and we can rotate things and make it dance at some point, and stretch it in many different ways. And yeah. How am I on time? Because I probably might need to rush, but just let me know. Do I have 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay. No, I mean, I'm over the half now, so you can say. But it's fine. So this is a performance from Joe, Kruse, and Sabrina, and they are live coding electronic music and visuals. So this is more in the realm of a music performance that you could dance to in a club, for example. This was recorded during the pandemic in a live stream. And Joe uses a lot of pieces of pop music, as you might have recognized, together with like these gabber kicks, which is very interesting. I like it a lot. Sabrina programs with P5JS, these types of visuals. Okay, yeah, so we've been organizing different types of concerts, and one of those concerts is usually called an algo rave. And this is done internationally also. So if you go to algorave.com, I think is the website, you can find algo raves across the world. I mean, probably not everywhere in the world, but in a few countries. And so the idea of an algo rave, as you can imagine from the words, it's algorithms plus a rave. So you make electronic music with software, and then you make a rave out of that. The word was coined by Alex McLean, who is also the creator of a very popular programming language called Tidal Cycles. And so we did a few of those live coding events. This was, I don't know how many years ago, I think 4 or 3. In any case, it was a few years ago in Utrecht, together with Creative Coding Utrecht, which is a foundation in Utrecht, as you can probably tell from the name. So yeah, we make different types of performances there. Throughout the whole evening. Sebastian, you played there also, right? Yeah, and Raphael played there too. So, yeah, you played separately. Yeah, it's a different piece. Yeah, exactly. And this was a more recent live coding algo rave we did here in the Nieuwe Instituut last year, I think, in March, during the Museumnacht. Maybe some of you were there. You were there? Ah, look at that. Very cool. Yeah, so different people performed. This is supposed to be Sebastian. Ah, there you are. So Sebastian performed, Wilbert, Lil Bleep, and Nikilia. Nikki is also part of the Rotterdam group. We had some people from outside the Netherlands also. Lina, in this case, from the Barcelona community. Saskia is also from the Netherlands. I played as well. So yeah, it was nice. So this is the Algorave website. I think I just want to mention, I think this is the final part, and if that's okay. How's the time? Yeah? Okay. So the international live coding community calls themselves the Top Lab. And yeah, they have this nice tagline, putting the funk into functions. since 2004. So they exist a bit longer than the Algorave scene specifically. But so Top Lab has another website where you can find information about live coding over the world, and there's a page with local nodes, which can be interesting for you if you go to a different country and you want to see if there's some people you can connect with, or maybe there's some events organized. So you can find some different nodes. So that's their website. And then I think the final part is the International Conference on Live Coding. So this was something that happened in Utrecht a few years ago, but is now going to happen in Barcelona at the end of May, and is the main reason that Raphael and Sebastian are performing in a little bit as well, because they are going to play that piece at this conference too. So the international conference is it's a conference that has an academic part about live coding, but it also has kind of like a festival part with performances and with different types of concerts in the evening. Could be a seated concert, could be an actual algorave with dance music. And during the day there's paper presentations, workshops, because there's quite a few people that are in the academic world working with live coding, doing research on topics of computer science in combination with sound or with visuals, talking about different types of programming languages, creating different types of sequencers or scheduling events. There's a lot of things to talk about, which is very interesting. So you can at least if you're interested, you can find the proceedings of the previous conferences also online and read all those papers. And so this is happening at the end of this month in Barcelona. So if you still need a little vacation, then I can recommend this place at this specific time. A few of us are gonna go there, so that's I'm really looking forward personally. And then this is the last slide. So you might think, okay, very nice, but then what are you actually programming with, and how do you get started? If you want, then there's this page called Awesome Live Coding, and this is a document on GitHub. And this page has a long list of URLs to different places and a long list of all the possible live coding languages. So programming languages that you can use for creating music or visuals, or mainly those, but might be something else in there as well. I know somebody's working on live coding with 3D printers, for example, which is also very interesting and completely different. So those types of things are in here as well, different libraries that you can explore. Maybe there's some questions, and then I think I can wrap up this short presentation. Are there questions? How you do live coding with 3D printers? Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't seen it yet, but I know somebody is working on it. Like I've seen some videos. There's somebody that's making a programming language that allows you to write software to move the 3D printing head, and then you can algorithmically design what is happening with the printer. Yeah. Although the printer also makes some sound, so you can kind of use the sound also if you want. So that's it's very very interesting. But you generate patterns and then you see the printed results. But that's the idea. Yeah, I know the person that does it is Evan Raskop. 3D printer. Maybe I find it if I search this. Probably need to search this on YouTube. Live coding, 3D printing. Look at that. But this is a whole talk. We're not going to watch a talk of somebody else and then stream. That's too much. But yeah, it's this person. No, this is something else. Although it could be interesting. But we're getting sidetracked. Yeah. Where's my presentation going to? I lost it. It was somewhere here. Ah, there it is. Yeah. Okay, that's it then. Thank you. You want to mute this or?
Thanks, Timo. I think Seb and Raphael are plugging in some stuff, and then we'll do a little live session. Or did you guys also want to do a little introduction to that, or are you just jumping in? Yeah, sure. Then I'm gonna try and get this mic to the other side of the table. Oh, yeah, that's fine too.
Hello. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I do it. So thank you all for being here. We have a very short introduction of what we're gonna show today. It's kind of the process of what we're developing for the ICLC, for the international conference. And it's also a project that we both work on. That's kind of a take on live coding that is also connected with cinema. Raphael and I are connected through sound with cinema, and for me also, I've been in post-production for a really long time. So we both love movies and music and live coding. So we are working on this together, and we're gonna be creating images together. So Raphael is gonna send me over this RTP Ethernet wire, some image matrixing. He created his own environment for music and sound. So we're both going to be creating sound in parallel, but we're also creating the images a little bit together. He's sending me it's a video that we kind of created together. He's now reprocessing it, and then I'm reprocessing his video. So it's a bit of a meta kind of situation here that we're creating. And just a really short intro. We do a short performance. The performance we're going to do in ICLC is also going to be short. So just so that you get a kind of a taste of what this is going to look and sound like. And then hopefully if there's time, we have like a couple of minutes for questions. Hello, hello. There we go. What was it? Sorry? Yeah, yes. The question was, what was the background? So the background is a composite with two movies, like it's a composite of a film from the 50s called The Brain That Would Not Die. And the other is the more kind of narrative idea behind it, because it's a film I love from Fassbinder called Welt am Dreht. What's in English? Life on a Wire, yeah. And it's about the virtual worlds and simulation and yeah, virtuality. So that's kind of more connected with what we were trying to say. But it's really, we only took fragments of these films and then made a big collage out of it. And then we kind of mashed it up with through Raphael's Matrix, and then a bit with Hydra. Although the Hydra, there's some work to do still. But yeah. Right. Anyone else? Questions? Yes. Yes, so the question is if there's a relationship between audio and video, and this in my case, there's audio reactivity, and so audio influences video, mostly feedback, and some overlays. And in your case?
In my case, I do have that possibility in this system, but I'm not using it today, so all the changes on the video that happened, like, from my side were sort of triggered by me, like in the code.
If we considered adding some color, there was some color added that didn't work 100% today. So yeah, but we actually wanted to make it black and white and green. Like this was kind of the idea. But then we wanted to add some kind of extra layer of color that today was not as active as we anticipated, yeah, or we prepared, yeah.
Yeah, so the layer that Sebastian did is for the visual part. That's what you're asking about, right? So that was Hydra, but for the like the white squares, the matrix kind of thing, it's a custom thing that I did. But if you're curious, it's done in Rust and in C++.
This is the Hydra script. It's a relatively simple Hydra script with some audio reactiveness and some feedback that today didn't work as anticipated as we tested, and some MIDI input that seems to be dead also now. So some work to do there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're asking the visual part on like does the matrix, it's Rust and C++, and why wasn't one language sufficient? There's a long story in how I arrived at this setup, but the short version is I've been iterating on this system that I use for both sound and video for a while. First version was written in OCaml. I performed here in Vorm. That was my first performance in the Netherlands, but it was in Vorm with like this early version in OCaml, and then and then OCaml is quite fast and quite capable, but I thought it was easier to do. I was trying to do some lower level things on the synthesis side and also on the visuals, so I thought it was easier to avoid the garbage collector if I went to C++. And at the time I used to, I guess I'm not doing the short version, at the time I used to code in OCaml, like live code in OCaml, but I decided to do my language on top like it is today. But then I thought it was silly to have that language, OCaml and C++. And I'm quite used to C++, but I wasn't really at that moment wanting to tackle an entire project in C++. So Rust came in, and it was like, it has their high-level aspects of that I like about OCaml, but it's also quite capable on the thing, like quite good at the things that C++ is good at. So then I cut out OCaml and put in Rust with the intention of cutting out C++. But for the visual part, I never actually got to the point where I cut out C++. So now it's still in this intermediary state where I have the three languages that I wanted to avoid. But that's sort of where I am at the moment. If my plan is to move away from C++ and go entirely in Rust, for this project, when I introduced Rust, it was. I'm not so sure anymore. Even though I do like Rust, I want to integrate it with certain things that require C++, such as having like, because I use it to control, for example, today I'm controlling Supercollider for audio, but sometimes I use my own synthesis stuff that I did in C++ originally in our Rust. But I also want to host VSTs within it, for example, and for that I need to have some C++. So I guess I'm sort of accepting that might always be a hybrid.
Okay. Cool. Anyone else?
I was curious, like for the videos, you went through this process of curating some scenes. I was wondering if you can also, if there's a similar process behind the sound, or how did the sounds come about?
Yeah. Yeah. So if I can do a fair summary of this question, was about like we talk a bit about the process to generate the video, but also was the process behind the music, the sounds, and Timo heard some granular synthesis, and indeed we are both using granular. I'm using tidal cycles, and then some of the granular functions from tidal. Like striate and chop, I think here, and then I also use those functions to granulate MIDI. So I send this kind of granulated MIDI messages to virtual synths, and I let Rafael talk for his granulation.
Yeah, I guess one more little bit of background is that we both did projects related to cinema, as Sebastian alluded, and then we came together. Let's do one thing together, like with cinema, since we both like we were working with live code and cinema. And when Sebastian was working on the film montage, he also worked on an audio montage. And for my previous projects doing cinema, like live coding with cinema, I would get an entire movie. So it was, in a sense, less elaborate than what we did together. And I would get the entire sounds from the movie, and just all my sounds are based on granulating all the movie sounds. So soundtrack, voice, whatever is in there. And for this time, I used what Sebastian did. So he also collaged the sounds from the movie. And then I just took it as like a found sound thing and then just granulated it. And then I do some specific things with granulation, like individually processing each grain. And that's basically from my part of it, all the sounds come from that.
Yeah, and the montage from the film was also had like some stretching and some sound processing on that original file that we're using. Yeah, but I also want to mention that you showed the Algorave in Utrecht, and I think from that Algorave on we've been talking about like working together and something like this. So it's I'm happy that we can present. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? We have a break. Yes. Let's have a break and a beer, and thank you for your questions and for listening. just in case. We're talking about this saturation that did not work as well in the performance, and now with some adjustments, and thanks for nice input. We have updated, and it looks much better.
Hello, hello. Yes, yes. Hello. Is there somebody still taking a break? I think so.
I need to save this script before I forget.
Save your script. Just go to the next
I made a change that I like, so I'm gonna keep it.
Everybody see?
I don't see anybody outside.
They run away. They run away. Ah, he's hiding. We got one. So.
The weather is too nice to stay with these geeks with the cables.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh, don't touch the mic. Let's see. 1 sec. Still doing one thing. Okay. Yes. So today I will do part 3 of Hydra 101. So it's now 103. This is the basics of Hydra. I do a little recap. I go a bit quick because yeah, if I do everything really extensively, then my time is already gone over. So then I can do the new functions. First, the first time we spoke about this buttons in the corner. One is rendering, the other does some other stuff. Here, this one with a question mark, you can find really the basics of Hydra to get you started. Underneath here, there's some documentation where you can do your own research. Yeah, and then you can also find out for yourself how it works. But I'm also gonna tell you something today. So listen. And if you have your computer with you, get it out. I see too. You don't have it? Yes, get it out. Yeah. There are some shortcuts, so you can see them here. Control-Shift-Enter is to run the whole code. Alt-Enter is to run just a block. Control-Enter is just run one line. Control-Shift-H is to hide code. And Control-Backslash is to disable a line. Hash will stop your sketch from rendering, so then you just see a black screen. Yeah, if you just want to stop or start over and just begin from scratch. The first tutorial was also we spoke about 7 source functions. This source functions are actually the first function you use in your sketch, and after this you can manipulate your sources. So you have noise, voronoi, oscillator, a shape, so this will be a triangle because it's 3, a gradient, a solid, that's the solid is completely one color, and source can be anything. Wow, okay. Yeah, like this.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, let's see. Is this also? Yeah, there is different, but that's all right. Yeah. So these are the 7 functions with which you start your code. Then you manipulate your source functions with different kind of functions. So last time, the second tutorial, we spoke about geometry functions. So for example, rotate your image or your sketch. Scale makes it bigger or smaller. Pixelate this controls how much pixels your screen uses to show the image. So for example, if you do 3 and 3, then you have 9 pixels in your screen to show the image. So it will be really blocky. Then you have repeat. It's like one repeat is the first one. This one is repeat. You can fill in the X and the I axis to repeat your image, and the next two are just only single X axis and the I axis. Collide is like a kaleidoscope. It mirrors your image from a center point, and it makes what is how you can say it, like it makes slices of pie. Mirror it. Yeah. And scroll. With scroll, you can move your image to the right, or the left, or up, or down. With this one, you can do like both sides because there's X and Y in the function. The next one is only the X-axis, and this one is the Y-axis. So that was the recap. Nice. We're through it. I found another thing more like to tell about how the Hydra machine works. If you do run all code, that's actually also a time where you save your code. Sometimes if you do, for example, Control-Shift-Enter, you see here underneath that yes, this is also not working. Wait, let me see. So yeah, now you see. No, not yet. That.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see that it's not working because Hydra 03 function is not a function. But this can also happen in your sketch. But if you go like page back, here in the left corner, if you go page back, you go back to the last time you did render the whole code, and it worked. So not like with the block and the lines, render line, render block, that doesn't really work. But if you render the whole code, then you can go back to it.
It saves a new URL with when you do control command.
Yeah. So
Shift enter,
yeah. So if you do Control Shift Enter, it makes a new URL. I hear here. Then so that's why you can go back to it. Another shortcut is Control Shift Enter. Control Shift S, and this makes a screenshot and gives you a code in JavaScript, so you can go back to this part of your sketch. Another thing, I will in my code now, you will see I write it like this. Oscillator OSC, and then frequency 60, sync 0.1, offset is 0.0. But normally we write it like this underneath here, just without the words, because that's quicker, and probably everybody knows it. And this is, you're too slow then. So and also these words only work if you put the equal sign in between. So okay, that's what I wanted to tell. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Oh. So let's see. We start with We start with the following color functions. I want to show it here as well. This is like the documentation. Sorry, I will go a bit back. Where's the question mark? It's gone, of course. Wait. You heard my what's it called? Yeah. Yes. So it's good. Wait. You can go back a bit. Yeah. So this second one, list Hydra functions. You can find all the functions. So now we are at this part, and it's the color function. So that's what we're gonna do today. Okay. Okay, we start with posterized. I think this the next two functions our pop art friend Andy Warhol would be really fun. Would be really fond of it. He would go actually wild with this two functions, because I will show you it makes it a bit like a silk screen. Okay. Allow. Yes. So, okay. Normally, you see my face. It's a bit dark today, so that's maybe getting a bit more difficult.
Should I give you a spotlight?
Yeah, you can. The next thing is posterize. Bins is how many channels or shades every channel has. So like RGB channels. If you have like normally you would have like 256 shades of color. So you see now nothing happens, nothing changed. But if you change it to 3, you only have dark, middle, and highlight. So it brings the difference in your sketch back to just 3. You can also do it like 4, and then it gets more like detailed. With the gamma, you decide how harsh the boundaries are from light going to middle and going to highlights, or dark, middle to highlights. So you see at 9, it has more like a gradient. Then the next one is shift, and I will do this and then it will break, because this is actually the default, but you always need to have, as the last part, the A, you always need to have 0.1 or 0.9, or else it just doesn't work. Also not with 1. I don't know what it is, but normally you would say like 1 gives you the whole image, but that doesn't work. So with shift, you can shift the different channels. So for example, now I'm controlling the red channel. 0.1 is near normal. Let's see, and you see here 0.6 it gets really red. 0.9 it gets not more red, actually, different red. So, and you can do this also with green channel, but also 9 gets more green. And of course you can do the same with the blue channel. Let's see, where's the let's see, blue channel. It makes it more blue. And yeah, you can of course also experiment with different color, different values on the different color parameters. Okay, and I told you that our friend Andy Warhol would like this 2 functions. Here we have Mao. And if you do the posterize, it's not yet getting to it. I have to say, I didn't get it completely right, but it is a bit going to it. So you see, it's going a bit to the what Andy Warhol does with the different kind of blacks and the highlights and the middles. But you can try to make it different. Let's see.
It's Warholing.
Warholing, yeah. This is a Warholing machine, yes. You can invert. This is invert. Invert. You can make it differently. Let's see. I'm not getting to like a complete Warhol image. That's I will say. But I thought it was funny. You can get like a bit of a Warhol-ish image, and I think if you really dive deep into this, then you can get the image right. So that was posterize and shift. And I can tell you about like this. Thank you. Yeah. About the last part, like what I was telling you, that you always needed to have a parameter 0.9 or 0.1. This is the alpha channel, and it makes your sketch transparent. So it controls the opacity. Let's see. You see here, it's like that. Okay. Yeah, then we have the invert. Let's go back to normal image like this. An invert would do like just an inversion, of course, from your image. There's Mao again. He stays. He always keeps coming. Like black will be white, white will be black. But for example, yellow will be violet, green will be red, and other way around. Yeah, that's you can check it out on the on this color wheel. But I will do it now, so you can see my image is now inverted. So and yeah, so invert 1 is a complete inversion, and for example 0.6 is a little less or much less. It's like less inverted, and at 0.5 you get like a completely gray image. So yeah, it's not really useful, but from gray you get a normal, more normal image again. So that's how you can control the inversion. But 1 is the most of the time most spectacular. Then we have brightness. With brightness, you can control your the brightness of your image. With 0, there's no. It doesn't make it lighter. But if you start with 0.1, it makes it a little bit lighter. But if you go to 0.7, it already gets really light. So that's the brightness. Then we have luma. Luma. Okay, yeah. Luma will make all. So you have. We'll make all black color values, make it transparent, and all white color makes it just visible. And with the threshold, you can decide where he sees, where the function sees the value as dark or light. So if you do 0.1, maybe I will be a bit visible, but because we are here now and it's really dark, if I go to 0.2, it's already getting really transparent. Maybe I'll show you like this. 1 sec. OC 40. Layer. I will make some sound effects while coding to keep you alert. So now you see the oscillator is the first layer. The source where my face was visible just now is on top of it, and you see that the most part of the image is transparent. So if I go to 0.1, you see my face coming back a bit. Maybe if I do 0.01, it's even more. So now you see that the blacks or the dark parts are transparent. Okay. Then we have trash. It's doing a bit similar thing, but it doesn't make it transparent, but it makes the image black and white. So the threshold decides which value becomes black and which value becomes white. So let's see, 0.1 maybe. Yeah, so you see just with Luma, you can see that my face also becomes present a bit more. Tolerance is the gradient, how the gradient goes from black to white. If you do like really small value, then it's a harsh cutoff or a harsh boundary between black and white. But if you do, for example, 0.4, it gets more like a gradient. And yeah, you will see here, it will change. Let me see. Yeah, it will change which value is black and which value is white. Let's see, 0.6, completely dark. Let's see. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so then the next function is you can control the different channels of the pixels of the RGB channels with all if all parameters has a function has a value of 1, then it's a normal image. But if you, for example, do 0.5, the redness gets out of it. And so let's go back to normal red. And if you do this with the green, there's not too much green in it, so you can't see it. But I think the blue will, change a lot more. So now it's more red. The alpha channel is, of course, how transparent it is. So if I would do this now here, wait 1 sec. This one, I changed it. Yeah, you see my face coming out again if you control it. And it's also the red one. It's not the Luma one because my face is red. Okay, then we go to saturate. Saturate amount 1 is a normal image, so you see. And if you do 2 or 3 or 4, then the saturation goes up, so the colors get more vibrant. And I see now the light is most of it getting vibrant. And let's see, if you do 0.2, for example, it gets less vibrant. And with the minus, let's see, -1, minus flips it around. Okay, with the U, this color wheel gets like spinned. It's a color wheel has like a it's like a round, so that's a 360 radius, and with every 0 point, it changes a bit of it turns the wheel some degrees, so 36 degree. Yeah, what does that mean? You can't say really precise, but I can show with this one. I can show you that the U is shifting. So just pick one bar and concentrate on that, and you will see it will change to the next bar. It also changed a bit of the color, but you saw the red bar, for example. The red bar in the middle goes 1 to the right. It depends on how much you spin the wheel, of course, how far it changes. So if I do 7/5, then the red one will be more to the right and come back again. So that's how it works. And a normal image just so 0.1 is still close to the normal image, but now you see 0.6 is already really different, and yeah, that makes my head green. So okay, then we have Colorama. Colorama is what does it do? It's a bit of a colory glitchy function. I'll show what it does. So you see here it makes the image like really grainy, but it can also go completely wild. So it's not completely wild. You still see my face, but it is really a function which gives a lot of result. Which most of the time it's nicer to not go completely wild with it. Small changes are most of the time nice, but I also like this one actually now, so that's all right. Yeah, so this is the color functions, because the next functions I never used them. Don't use too much, and couldn't find so much about it. Do you know this?
A little bit, but maybe we can keep it
For the next time.
1.0.
Yeah. So maybe the next time we'll talk about this next functions. So this was the tutorial for today.
Yes, thank you.
And maybe you can make Andy Warhol for next time, you know, and show us. Okay. Sorry? Yeah, contest. Contest, yeah. Yeah, so are there questions?
Questions?
Yeah. So the question is if the Colorama does all this, what you see now on screen, and the answer is yes. It's
Can we show it with noise? With noise you can really see the...
yeah. Let's do that. Noise. 30. Yeah. So.
So this is.
One sec.
White. Yeah.
Okay, you tell.
No, you go.
No. You just say.
This is when you do noise without the colorama. This is black and white. So it turns the monochrome gradient into this red to green gradient. This is what I think. What I think it does.
But does it only do like red to green, or does it also, because if I go back to the
depends on the, because this is black to white, you know.
Yeah,
so it depends on the source color.
Of course, yeah. It makes black, makes it red or white, and the other part is then white is.
Yeah, so because this is not black and white, then it like shifts it.
Yeah. So black and white is red and green, and other colors are other colors.
It shifts the color. Yeah.
It shifts the colors, and but also what it does, it makes it also, I think, grainy and a bit glitchy. Is it not?
Depends what you put in.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think.
All right. Okay. Another question, maybe.
I love this, by the way.
It's good, no? Yeah. Somebody else?
Questions? Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So,
Johan?
yeah, no, yes.
We're running a bit short on time. Does that mean we either put pressure on Johan or we skip the jam tonight?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I don't know. I like collective decision making.
Hence the question.
Yeah, we'll probably have to leave in 15, 20 minutes anyway, so that means I will have to skip the jam.
Or we can skip me.
No. You have like slides and everything. You are way prepared, man. I want to see that story. We don't have to worry for like a whole month about what saturation means in audio, because I really don't know. But is there anybody here tonight that really came for the jam and has been here for 2 hours going, oh look, I'm just waiting until I can do that thing, because then we can make different choices. You know what? I'll stop talking and I'm going to give the word to Johan.
Are there any questions about this decision making? No. Okay. Okay. I'm going to do it quick then. 15 minutes. I would like to use this thing. Use us. No? No? Yes. Okay. Then I have two hands free. So I talk a bit about a thing called saturation. And saturation is something that occurs that we saw in Hydra just now, but also in audio you can have saturation. So here you see the blue line that is supposed to be audio, and if you turn up the volume really a lot, then at some point your amplifier or the speakers cannot convey that anymore and make the sound that they are ordered to make. And then clipping occurs usually. And there's also a small phase just before the moment of hard clipping, and that is soft clipping. And soft clipping, that is usable, well, clipping also, as an effect. For some people like the sound of audio that is clipping or soft clipping. So. And it originated, even kijken, what is dit? Well, that is also about the soft clipping. So if you make the input louder, and then the output should go louder just as well, but at some point the output cannot follow the input anymore. And if that is a very hard, squarey point, like from here to there, then you have hard clipping, which is usually not so nice to hear. But if it goes gradually, then you can get pleasing effects. And well, I'm totally into Supercollider and audio, and a big part of the audio is also the effects that you use. Because effects can make audio more beautiful or destroy it completely. I'm going to skip this one. And here you see a tone of, this is 200 hertz. And what the soft knee compression, what you saw here, what it does is it generates extra harmonics. And then you have the harmonics that are, oh yeah, it's 400 hertz, by the way. There you have harmonics that are even and odd. So this is the 800 hertz harmonic. That is an even harmonic. This is an odd one, and this is an even one, and it goes on until you can't hear the harmonics anymore. And at some points, some ways of soft clipping can exaggerate only the odd harmonics, and some also exaggerate the even harmonics, and then you get a different sound. So, and it started with these kinds of things, the tubes. The hard rock amplifiers that from Marshall or other brands, they have tubes for amplification, and a tube can amplify sound, but it cannot go higher than its power voltage somewhere. And just before clipping to its maximum output value, the tube gives a sort of soft knee compression, and many people like that sound. Tape has the same. If you put audio on a tape, then what you do is you put the magnetic particles inside the tape. They all get turned to, because of the audio, they get turned to the left or to the right, and they stay that way in the tape. And if you later play back the tape, then with these magnetic particles you can create the electrical audio signal back again. But every part of tape has a limited number of these little particles that can turn around. So if you make the input voltage very high, then all the particles have turned around, and there are no more particles that can turn around more, because they're all turned around. And so also there you bounce into a certain limit. And just before that limit, you get also some sort of saturation. But that is then with the magnetic saturation. And the transistor that is in use a lot these days has the same thing, but also different, because this one is a switch made in silicon in a different matter, and so it has also a different characteristic. So saturation is used a lot in mastering, mixing, or just directly on a voice to make a voice more prominent in the mix. And this is a little saturator image that I came across last week or 2 weeks ago. And it is from Ableton Live. And this is a good graphic to I thought, well, I can make this in Supercollider. Because at the x-axis you see the input voltage. And at the y-axis you see the output voltage. So here is 0 in the middle. And if the input goes up, then this is a straight line, so output can follow. And then at some point, the output cannot follow anymore, and then it goes like this. So here you have this soft knee. And also here at the bottom, for the -1 voltage, you have it also. And that were the slides. Haha. So then we come into Supercollider. And there is a, I can see straight curve. I have to make sure that you can read all the text like this. Yes, okay. So there is one function in Supercollider, and that is the shaper. And shaper does exactly what you saw in the image of Ableton Live. You need to have a buffer that contains this function, this shape of the function that you want to use for altering the input. And you need the input, of course, and what comes out is the output. So there is in Supercollider a class env. It's usually used to create envelopes for audio, but you can create. Where do you go? Come here. Yes, you can create shapes with it. So this is a very simple one. It goes straight up to 1.1 from 0.0. So you give where it should start, where it should end, and this is how long it should take. And so I was fooling around with env a little bit, trying to make this shape that I saw. This is coming close, but the edges here are not rounded, they are hard. So it's not really what I wanted yet. And do I have another plot? Ah yeah, here. This one. This one was getting better. So this is rounded. So I decided to use this, to give this to the shaper Eugen and see what comes out. But I also thought that maybe the old amplifiers of Marshall, they would have a different way of changing the signal for the positive voltages compared to the negative voltages, because it might be different. So I thought that a perfectly symmetrical is not maybe that pleasing to hear. So I thought I do maybe a little bit different. So here it's very subtle. You can see that this bend is a little bit different than for the negative voltages. And then I decided to cripple it. So I used this same one, but I just put on extra small random numbers. Oops. Oh, I should plot it here. So then you can get things like this. It looks a bit crooked, but it will. And with every new time that you evaluate it, you might get a different sound then. And that was also something that could be interesting. So then here was, I decided to put this in what they call a synthetf. So in Supercollider, you program your sounds using this, using code, of course. And the synthetf here just has the input signal in. Then you have this environment, this this envelope. And then the envelope I can put into a buffer with 513 samples. And then I thought I need a drive parameter, because if the input signal is small, then it only moves on this perfectly straight line in the middle for a low input signal. If you drive it, so you amplify it extra, then it will get more to these outside soft knees, and then you might hear the effect better. So there is a drive parameter from 0 to 1, and I expanded to 0 to 40. And here's the shaper in action. So it uses the buffer. It uses the input signal. If the drive parameter is 1, I multiply it by 40. So I drive it pretty hard. And then after that, I have a very loud signal. So I have to make it softer again, according to the drive. And this is not really not really just 40, because if the signal is softly clipped, then it is not as loud anymore. So if you would divide by 40 here, then the signal would become too soft. So this is empirically a bit done. And also the signal is non-linear, so there might be DC components emerging, and I take these out with leak DC. And that's the effect that I then designed. So let's hear the effect, maybe. So I start the server. Let's see, do I have some volume? Yes. And this is the saturator. Here I start an effect. I give the drive 0.5, and this saturator is, I have another version which has a low-pass filter built in, but these two parameters will just be ignored by this saturator. So I have the saturator defined, and here is a simple bass drum that's going to play. I'm going to take off the rumble. And this mix parameter, it sends A, that means almost the entire signal, to the main output, and 0 to this saturator effect to start with. So just with the bass drum. It's very few bass drums. Let's make it some more. So if I send some more to the saturator, then you will get to hear it, maybe. Not yet. So now it's not working, of course. Well, I don't know. I never evaluated it. Okay, so this is right away the maximum thing. And yeah, okay. So that's what you can do, that's it. For a bass drum. And let's do something else. I'm going to replace the bass drum. No. I find it pretty hard to look at this screen and that screen. I'm going to look at this screen, of course. But in the editor now I cannot see if I'm in insert mode or not. So that's nice. Okay, now I'm in insert mode, I guess. My gosh. I switched from Emacs to VI, so changing editor, sorry. So I have here some sound, and I'm not going to do this yet. Okay, this might be a bit loud, but I'm not sure. No, it's not, it's okay. Okay, so I will make a small control parameter here, the X position of my mouse. between 0 and 1. Okay, and then I can use that control parameter to control how much of this sound is sent to effect number 1. I say here effect number 1 is the mouse X. So I put the mouse to the left and then I move to the right. Maybe I hear it. Ah, stupid. You have to evaluate your code. You can type code. If you don't evaluate, you see, now you get the... So it depends a lot on the sound, what you will get out of it, but some things can be pleasing, and this is working with a sample, so I can replace it with a sample then. Oh yeah, it's a very short sample, but it also does something. One more thing and then it's over. I like to try this one. So I replace track A with again something else. First put the mouse to the left. What is this? Okay, it's just a small break. I've fooled around with the swing, but now you don't hear it that much. No, it should work. Let's kill the direct output entirely. So yeah, this is all coming up. Maybe I upper the gain a little bit. Oops. So for some sounds it has more effect than for other sounds, so that's what you have to find out a little bit. Yeah, oh, here it was. Okay, well that was it. Thanks for listening. Good.
Questions?
10 o'clock.
Question, yeah. I was wondering, I mean, I think it's very cool you can do like this like create your own curve for like a distortion. I was curious because you're using Supercollider, and I am not a Supercollider user so much myself, but I'm sure Supercollider has a lot of saturation U-gens also. Have you compared yours with the ones from Supercollider, or not yet? Or
Well, Supercollider comes with I use only the basic. Oh yeah, sorry. I created my own effect for saturation, but Supercollider has built-in saturation effects also. Why don't you use these? That's the question.
yeah, or I think maybe it has those. But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know because I'm not.
Well, Supercollider does have a great deal of plugins that you can add to it. But yeah, I like to create things myself. I like that to do that, and I think then I can maybe also get to things that are not available as a plugin. So yeah. Anyway, I'm a strange nerd. So I just like to do that. It's
I completely agree because
Yeah.
I mean I also built distortions myself if I can. It is very nice. But I was just curious if you listened maybe how the ones in Supercollider sounded, and if you like.
well,
Well, maybe this one sounds different, so I like it better. Or
there is a few built-in functions, but I don't have all the. It's called the SC3 plugins. That is a big library that you can add to Supercollider, and that contains a lot of these things that other people have made. But they also say with it that some of these might be a little bit shaky or that things crash or not reliable or anything like that. So I never came around to install it so far. But maybe you're right. Maybe I should have a look, see what's there, because
I mean, it's always interesting to compare. But
yeah.
I like that you used this randomization in the curve or in the distortion. In the distortion shape, I guess.
Yeah.
I was also wondering if you hear a lot of difference every time you evaluate that. Does the curve change or does it?
No.
Does it stay the same or how does it work?
I tried it a little bit, but I would have to make the randomness more wild to really hear differences. It's not so. But I like it that there's every time small differences, and yeah. I usually don't like big steps from left to right. Keep it small, yeah. But anyway, I'm still at the beginning of a long journey, so.
So the follow-up on the randomization is to set the shape of this curve, no?
To make it not perfect,
Yeah.
because I can make a perfect curve similar to the top and to the bottom, but I don't think that is a very interesting sound. Usually the components in real amplifiers, they are not perfect, so I don't want this to be perfect either. So yeah, that was that.
Yeah, I think that's very nice.
So yeah, I try to. You can see I use this sequencer code, and I try to spend time perfecting my sequencer, and I have to spend time, of course, making sounds, doing sound design. So that's a big interest of me. So
Thanks, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome.
This is the only time we have now?
Yes. You can
Make a comment?
Sorry. So I think we ran out of time for today, because we had some startup problems, and there were some interesting stories to be heard and questions to be answered. And I think V2 wants us out of here in like half an hour or something. So we need to unfortunately lock it down for today, and we will not be doing a stream, but you guys can look forward to the one that we'll be doing next month. Oh yeah, there's a stream, but there was no jam. So next month we will do a jam. See, it's way too late. I'm getting tired and messing up. Anyway.
We start with the jam.
That's an interesting concept. Not sure, but maybe, in a way. We might be doing something with analog technology next month, but we'll put that in a new post.
Can you do a quick announcement for Wednesday, maybe?
Oh, that's a good one.
Wednesday, Thursday.
What, Thursday?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I did. But I mean, it's not interesting for the stream because it's in real life. It is interesting. Okay. So we have a live coding concert on Thursday at Creative Coding Utrecht. So if you're interested, everybody here, of course, you're very welcome to come. And you can find tickets on the Netherlands Coding Live website or on creativecodingutrecht.nl. And that's it. What, you want to add something?
No, yes, I want to. Say again?
Do I have to bring my laptop?
There's no jam session in the schedule.
No, there's going to be a few performances. All of these performances are in preparation for ICLC. So there'll be a bunch of artists from the Netherlands that are going to ICLC. They're going to be presenting. We're going to do a new iteration with Rafael, but also Timo is going to play, Saskia, Rafaele. Okay, that's it. That's in Utrecht on the 15th. We start what time? At 8 p.m. we start. Okay, so that's it. And thank you, V2. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Wouter. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, everybody. Yes.